Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am Jeffgrantmedia. In today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I am going to try to dye my Rucker 3.0. Now, you can see I have not started the process because I need to give this a bath first to clean off some of the grime because I do ruck with this bag, and also I'm supposed to use hot water to kind of help to loosen the fiber so the dye gets into it a little bit better. Now, if you have seen my unboxing and my review of this bag, I like this colorway. I still like this colorway. I went with this colorway because I do like the black and red color combination, but I want an all black GORURCK bag. Now, I had one for a hot minute, but I got it right as not one, not two, but three major appliances decided to act up at the house. So I went a little broke and immediately sold it. I literally got it in and listed it for sale the very next day. I never even put it on my back. So I already have a Rucker that's mostly black. Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably clean this dog hair and everything off it too, because, you know, I got a dog and all, but we'll give this a bath and see what we can do. Now, I have watched Ruck.Beer's video on dyeing this exact same colorway many times now, so I'm pretty confident that it's not going to turn out completely black, but his midnight red, as he calls it, came out pretty good. So I have the same Rucker. I have the same dye that he bought, except I do have vinegar, and I believe it's salt or sugar. I don't remember the second ingredient. I will have to reread the instructions, but I will use the second ingredient that he did not use to hopefully help it set a little bit better. But we're gonna start by bathing this guy. I'll probably wash it because it is a little bit stinky, because I do use this bag strictly for rucking. Now, I might EDC this bag just a little bit because I'm kind of curious as to how it's going to carry for an EDC. I want to see if my laptop will fit in the plate carrier sleeve and stuff. So I never intended on EDCing this bag, but we're gonna just to check it out. So we're gonna start by giving this thing a bath, and then we're gonna prep by getting probably a cooler. It seemed to work out really well for him because it's insulated, so it kept the heat in, which probably helped the dye work its magic and get it a little bit darker. So we're gonna go ahead, bathe this thing, and then probably tomorrow or so we will soak it in some hot water and start bringing up some water to about 140 degrees and dump it in a cooler, grab some bricks, some gloves, and I'm gonna wear some clothes I don't care about because he did splash himself, and I'm confident I will do the same. So we're gonna wear some old paint covered clothes and see how this thing turns out in the end. So let's get to it. So I'm soaking it now, but I'm also I'm gonna throw a couple of these extra patches in to just test them out, see what happens. Oh, I'm fogged up. All right, so I am going to run into an issue here. I swear I tested it and it fit, but the bag, it's too wide for the cooler. I can't remove the frame sheet and it's just a little too wide to fit in this cooler. I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I wet the bag and it swelled up, because I swear I put it in here and it all fit, but it's going to be in here. You'll see at a bit of an angle. The lid will close, but I'm not gonna get the tops. So what I'm gonna do, I thought this would already be soaking for an hour. It's after 9 o'clock at night now. I thought this would be soaking before 8. So I'm gonna end up doing half, flip it like every 20, 30 minutes. And then I'm gonna put it into this tub and dump the water out of the cooler and just let it sit in here overnight without flipping it. Let's start by getting it all mixed up. I already put the dish detergent and the vinegar is in there. I just got a big whiff of the vinegar. Now, following the Ruck.beer formula, I bought these same color dyes, and I'm gonna go ahead and dump them all completely in, just like Ryan did. I did not use a thermometer to check the temperature, but the directions say 140 degrees or warmer, and I unfortunately lost. I think I threw it out. I'm pretty sure my meat thermometer was broken. If I remember correctly, last time I went to use it, it was just like, that's really hot water. It was just beeping ridiculously loud and crazy and wouldn't stop beeping. So I think I just threw it out. So I don't have the thermometer to test it. And when I was at Walmart earlier tonight, I looked at them in the aisle and I said, oh no, I got one at home. I'll use the one I have at home and I'll be fine. And then I wasn't fine. So here we go, all the black's in. This is the green, all the way in, fogging up my glasses. I do have some gloves, which I probably should have put on. They're just some crappy nitrile gloves, so they're not really gonna be too protective. They're not gonna cover much of my hands. Oh, well, I guess we'll stick one on. Just drop the thing in there. I don't wanna leave the cap in there. Of course, now my hands are not even really wet. It's more the no, they're just broke. It's more the condensation. Oh yeah, that's warm water. So I just boiled it. I had to go until the water boiled. So we boiled it. We're in my basement, so don't have to worry too much about the colder temperatures outside. And even though it has been quite warm for March in northeastern Pennsylvania this year, it's cold tonight. So being in the basement will work out a lot better, especially when we switch over to the non-insulated, just Tupperware bin to finish off for the evening. But now we have it in. Let's try to stir this up a little bit. We'll mix it. I can see it's splashing up on the edges a little bit. It looks kind of purple in there. We'll maybe get a glance with what this wood looks like. I thought I had a piece of PVC pipe laying around, but I did not. I just have this like 89-cent dowel from Walmart that I'm not using. So yeah, I mean, it is kind of black-ish. And this carpet, I do work out on this carpet, but it's also covered in sawdust, so I'm not overly concerned with it getting dyed black. The one thing I am concerned with is I wanted to get the cooler pretty full, but not all the way full because I don't want to overflow. So now we're gonna soak this the Rucker in here and hope we don't overfill it, because that'll be bad. Yeah, it's still gonna float. I'm hoping once it starts to fill up with water, it'll just sink. I tried to leave the zippers undone a little bit at the top to make sure it gets inside, to get the patches and to hopefully fill it up with water. But I don't, it does want to be very buoyant. So let me see if I could unzip it just a little bit more. Actually, I think I closed it all the way without paying attention. All right, well, I do have some bricks here. And this water is hot. I should have put the gloves on, but they're crappy gloves. So what I'm gonna do is take one of these bricks and hopefully lay it on there. I don't think you can hear this on camera, but it's bubbling. The bag is filling up with water, and I can hear a little bit of it bubbling as the air is escaping. Wow, that was hot. Let's use the stick. Yeah, boiling water and skin does not mesh well together. So my only issue right now is getting this thing to stay down, because it's not, well, I guess that's raising the water level a lot. 2 bricks is too much. So what I think will actually work out, hopefully, is, there we go. That'll that's working. We'll come down every 20 minutes until 11, maybe 12 o'clock, see how late I can stay awake. And after that, I will transfer it into just the Tupperware bin, put the bricks on top of it for the night, and just let it go until morning. And then after I work out in the morning, I'm just gonna run. Obviously, I can't use my Rucker in the morning. I will take it in the shower with me and rinse it out. Unless it's above 40 degrees, then I could probably do it outside, but it's supposed to be cold tonight, so I don't know if I'll be rinsing it off outside. I've got an idea that I'm hoping will work. Instead of me trying to cram the bricks on top of a bag that's sitting at an angle, I'm going to, although I think the lid is probably, hopefully holding it down, I think I'm going to unzip the bag and, oh wow, that's condensation, hot water dripped on my leg. And hopefully it will just hold the bag down. But you could see right there the difference. This, I mean, right now, I don't know what you're seeing, but it looks almost completely black. And Ryan had the same outcome. The Velcro, the loop took the red almost right away. I think I might have done one little boo-boo. Oh God, this is hot. Wear thick gloves if you do. Okay, I didn't. I thought I forgot to take the GORURCK patch off the inside, but I took it off. My Coyote paracord is dark. It's black. I was hoping that would stay Coyote. The red is fairly red, but you can see it's full of water. You can see it draining. The diamond head is still mostly black, but you can, I almost want to just leave it like this. It's kind of cool. It's almost like a gradient, but we're not going to leave it. We're going to stick, oh my God, that brick is hot. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Okay, the brick's inside now. Whoa, all right. So the cooler is certainly keeping it warm for a lot longer. As soon as I transfer into that red purple bin, it's probably going to cool off mighty quick. So trying this with one brick because I think I have too much water for two. I'm pretty sure I'll overflow the cooler if I put the second brick in there, because once I kind of cram the bag in, it's not working like I wanted. But I think just the lid being down was doing enough. So we'll go ahead and cram the lid on and put 15 pounds worth of kettlebells on there. But we are, oh wow, that is still blazing hot. I mean, it's only been in there, the water itself's been in there for probably 40 minutes or so, maybe a half hour. It's been in there at least 10 minutes before the bag went in, but it is still blazing hot. I feel it in the fingertips, but that took the dye super, super quick. I'm still gonna leave it in here overnight because I'm certain if I try to rinse this off now, even if it was fully submerged, a lot of that would just wash out. So I'm sure the dye hasn't completely set, but I think the fact that it's in the cooler, it's very hot, it's going to help open up the fibers for the dye to really absorb and set in. So I'm going to do my best to stay awake until about midnight tonight. I was hoping to stay up until about 11 and have 3 to 3.5 hours of soak done at that point, fully submerged, because in my mind, I swear I tested this in the bag fit. So in my mind, I thought it was going to sit in there and fit completely flat and be submerged, and then I would just leave it every like 45 minutes and flip it. But because it's only halfway in, I'm trying to do every 20. If I could stay awake that long, because I've been up since about 5 o'clock this morning. So midnight might be a hard sell for me. It looks black initially. When I get closer, I can see there is red. The front half, I tried to lean it forward so the front webbing was in, but I think it might have just been a little above, because that one front section that was Still pretty bright red. Oh, wow, that is so hot. I'm fogging up my glasses. It's still so blazing hot. But the top grab handle, which has been pretty much submerged, I think the whole time the top grab handle has been under, that looks very dark. I mean, close, if I can get close without fogging up, it does look, you can tell there's a little bit of color, a little red to it, but it is looking very dark, very dark. We get to the other side. The Arrowhead, oh God, that is hot. The Arrowhead logo is still pretty red, which I like. I like those little accents, so I'm happy the Arrowhead is still red. I'm hoping it rinses out. If not, again, I have red. I can just swap these out. But I kind of want the zipper pulls and the Arrowhead to stay red. I thought the bar tacking in between the Molly was gonna stay red as well, but that's pretty black. I do want to check the patches on the inside, but it's so hot. I don't want to open it up yet because I'm sure that's going to be very hot on my hands. So this time I am going to tip it backwards because this side was under the whole time, and the back, the straps, the webbing on the straps were not under. So this time I am going to tip it back this way to hopefully get the straps to be under for the next half hour or so. I've switched from 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and that's just because I was watching a TV show while I was waiting. So stay tuned for 30 minutes in the future. All right, this will be the last flip before we transfer containers and go to bed. Because I'm tired. I now have to be awake in 5.5 hours. I still have to take care of the leftovers before work in the morning. So here we go. Let's get to it. Stand back. Still incredibly steamy and hot. From this distance, it looks black. It looks like an entirely black Rucker until you get to the paracord. And then when I get over here to the other side and see how even the handle is hot. See the Arrowhead, which is still, oh my God, still very red. So we're gonna flip it one last time. Yeah, shoulder straps, black. I don't know how much of this black I'm gonna lose when I rinse this out in the morning. Hopefully it's not too much of it. Okay, this is actually the next day. It's a little after 6. I only got a few hours of sleep last night because I was so amped up from doing this. I have no idea what this looks like. I'm hoping it didn't completely disintegrate in the water overnight. The loud noise is the dog chewing on a bone on the hardwood floors directly above our head. So here is the reveal. Oh wow, that was a lot of condensation. All right, so it's been completely submerged. It looks black. It looks totally black. Our Arrowhead is still a little red. Our pull tabs, our paracord zipper pulls are still red. Let's see what the patches inside look like. Let's see. Okay, so the Rockstars patches didn't do much. Little gray hue. Same with the Watch Me on YouTube, but the light bulb, that's completely black. That was white, but overall the pack, it, like the Velcro, completely black. Let's just dump it. The bottom handle, which was submerged the whole time, completely black. Even the sides that were flipped for the first 2.5 hours or so, they look completely black. Top panel, that was completely it looks black. It looks totally black except for the Arrowhead and the paracord. Let's see what does the Coyote paracord look like. Even the Coyote paracord is still a little Coyote. I think some of this is going to wash out. So now I have the arduous task of finishing to drain this, rinse this, dry this, and see how much of this black washes out. All right, so this is about 5:30 at night the next day. Just got home from work a little while ago, did my thing, and I'm rinsing it out again. It was practically dry. I did try to rinse it this morning, but the sun didn't come up until I had to get ready for work, and I was running out of time, so I didn't get to fully rinse it, but the water's running pretty clear out of it right now. I mean, it might have a little bit of a purple hue to it, so it's still not completely rinsed, but it held the black much better than I thought. It looks good, and it's not coming off on my fingers at all. So I'm gonna let this dry. Okay, here we are. We are directly in front of a light, because that's kind of where I had it hanging. I just did this last night, not thinking about being in front of the light, but we're getting a little, it looks like on the phone, there's some shine. It almost looks like the webbing is still red, but it's not like that in person. I think that's literally just like the sheen we're getting off the material. There you go. That is what it looks like right there. All right, so here we go. The water is running clear, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna stay roughly this color. This looks black. It does have a little bit of a vinegary smell to it still, but I'm sure with a little bit of rucking, because I'm still gonna ruck in this. This is my Rucker 2.0, 3.0. This is still going to be my my rucksack. I'm still gonna throw weight in this and carry it and beat it up. So I'm sure maybe it's gonna wear a little bit over time, but it came out way better than I thought. I was honestly anticipating the Ruck.beer Midnight Red, but he only left his in I think for like 3 or 4 hours, and mine was in there for 8.5 hours, because I did leave it in a little bit longer. I had planned on it being in there for about 7-ish hours, but it ended up I stayed up later than I thought, and I got up later than I thought, so it ended up getting an extra hour and a half or so of soaking than I had originally planned, but it came out so good. I even had moved the straps just like Ryan did to make sure that the webbing underneath the clip got all of the dye as well, but when I slid them, it was already black. I don't think I slid them until halfway through my flip back and forth process, but because I was flipping, I started 20 minutes, I did that for about an hour, and then I went to 30 minutes until I switched from the cooler to the bin, and then I submerged it, I laid it flat, I put 2 bricks and 15 pounds worth, 2 different kettlebells, a 5 and a 10 pound kettlebell on there, and it stayed under, completely under. Just like his, the very first thing was the patch panel that went from red to black like instantly, but I honestly thought a lot of this webbing was gonna rinse out and get that midnight red, as the Ruck.beer has claimed, copyrighted, if you will, the color, but it didn't. I mean, you could see maybe on a little bit of the threading, you can tell it's a different color, but it almost looks like just like a variant of black, not even a different shade, just like a slightly tinted variant. You can't really tell that it's red. I mean, I know it was red, so I think that's what I'm looking at, but I thought the threads weren't going to dye. I thought the threads, like the bar tacking and the threads all throughout, like sewing the handles on, was all going to stay red, but it didn't. It's completely black, just like I thought. I knew, because his did not. The Arrowhead didn't take any of the dye, but I think it looks a little dirtier, a little darker than it was, but it's honestly, I mean, on camera it looks bright red. The paracord pulls did get some red to it, so they actually look dirty. I mean, on camera you can kind of see they don't look as dark on camera as they are, but I am going to replace those. Now honestly, I'm thinking about maybe doing black paracord with, also have red heat shrink, so maybe black with red, or I might just go with the red with the black the way it is. I feel like maybe the fabric is a little bit loose on the back here. I think inside the ruck plate, the sleeve is still a little bit damp, because that's one thing I did notice, and I actually emailed GORURCK about this, was inside the ruck plate pocket, there are no, you're not going to be able to see it, but there's no drain holes in the ruck plate pocket. So this being submerged, that all of the water sat both in the hydration sleeve and inside the plate pocket. And I had to dump it upside down to drain the water. So if they actually just threw a couple of grommets on the bottom there, that would help drain it into the bag, and then out the grommets on the bottom of the bag. Now, I do understand when there is a ruck plate in there and the sleeve is closed and velcroed shut, there's less likely for water to be in there. But there's plenty of events where people are completely submerged in water. There's still space in there for the water to collect and just stay. So why put drain holes on the bottom of the bag for the water to drain out, but not put drain holes on the inside double pocket, thick pocket, for the water to drain out of that? Now, yes, with the plate in there, there's less room for water, but that's still someplace that water could get trapped and not drain out in. So I did email them. I'll probably never hear a response, but it would be nice to see if they do put some drain holes in there. Maybe they did it in the Rucker 4.0. I am 100% not interested in the Rucker 4.0. Maybe the long-range Rucker, that looks kind of nice, but the 4.0, I'm not a big fan of. I don't like the changes they made to the 4.0, so I am going to stay away from that. Maybe I can hop online. They did some specs to that, or maybe they list some specs where they did it. But I mean, short of the dirt from me just laying on this table, this thing is black. I even think the actual pack that was already black, it's definitely a darker, deeper black. This is a black backpack now. Again, it was black and red, but it is black. So even the regular 1000D that was already black on this bag is definitely a much deeper, darker color. So there you go. There you have it. A black and red Rucker 3.0 dyed all black. I'm completely satisfied with how this came out. I think it looks badass with the little red arrowhead and the little red accents. I think it might have looked cool if the bar tacking on the webbing stayed red, but it turned all black, and it's just that little subtle touch of the red arrowhead. There you have it. A Ruck.beer recipe for the Rucker 3.0 black and red turned all black with red highlights. The only thing that I really did different than Ruck.beer, besides soaking it for like twice the time, was I did have vinegar on hand. Ryan, in his video, he said that he did not have any vinegar, so he didn't use that. The vinegar actually helps the dye to bind to the material, so that might have been the reason that mine turned black, or I might not have needed to soak it for 8 hours. I probably would have been good with 4 or 5, but because I used the vinegar, it helped it bind to the bag. But we'll see how it lasts over time. I still think I'm probably gonna lose a little bit more black. The way I'm gonna end up testing this out is I have an old white running shirt. It's just one of those synthetic fiber shirts that I wear running. I usually wear it when I'm working out early in the morning, so I'm a little more visible, but it's pretty old, it's pretty beat up, and it's not exactly white anymore. So I think what I'm gonna do is wear that with this and see when I start to sweat if the dye comes out. Because not only do I think it'll be funny, but it will be a good test to see if the bag does bleed still and need to be rinsed some more. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, finish drying this out, and start putting it back into the rotation. So if you like this video or any of the videos, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.